All right, let's get ready for another downwinder with Dominic in the North Sea this time. Let's go.
Welcome to Matt on Foil.
So if you missed the last video, it was the first time really downwinding with FoilDrive in the Markermeer, which was quite exciting. Today we're gonna go to the North Sea. It's supposed to be nasty conditions, meaning not super well organized bumps. I'm gonna take my smaller foil, the Barracuda L, like 1,050 span and square centimeters. So I'm excited. So I'm arriving at Noordwijk, and let's look for Dominic. Not sure that's the proper way to go, but that's what Google told me to go. So I followed blindly, or not blindly, but I followed Google. So when I drove through the town, then I was supposed to see the ocean, but I didn't. And, it was not because it wasn't there. It is there, but it is so misty. You can just see the waves the first couple hundred meters, and then it's just so misty. I don't know what the plan is. Let's wait for Dominic and see see what happens. All right, turns out I was in the wrong parking spot, and we're here. Oh, I can see Dominic there. Oh, he's already set up. Vlogging today. Absolutely.
So yesterday, clear skies, sun was out, everything was looking really nice. Today it's sort of changed a little bit more, sort of cross shore, but that's the wind. The swell is looking very onshore, so it's not looking as nice as yesterday.
So which board are you taking and why?
Well, too many to choose from at the moment. We have changed our minds, and instead of doing a long downwinder straight away, we're going to just do a few short up downwind runs, just to see what conditions are like and the swell direction. So I'm actually going to change over to the apple tree because it's a trench board, and if I'm using FoilDrive to motor against the wind and swell, then it's lovely because there's no drag on the touchdowns.
So we took our gear and just wanted to go for a couple of downwinders. He with his trench board. I was with my wing foil board. That's the shortest and the smallest one I had that worked. And I was quite nervous going out into the swell. Didn't really know what to expect. He told me about some sandbanks in the way.
Yeah, at the bottom
Cool.
it's flashing red. Yeah, nice.
Awesome, here we go.
Here we had the camera check.
All right, no more excuses. All right, so I'm a little scared. I've never gone out in the beach, and the waves never look big. But if you're standing in the waves, then it's different. Let me just let out Dominic in front and see how he does it, so I can learn.
So here you can see Dominic. He's been out here a couple of times. He pushes his board against the waves, and as soon as it's deep enough, he flips over the board and starts motoring. Looks pretty straightforward. And here you can see him getting on foil, and he goes downwind first. I'm going to get into that. I just wanted to go upwind a little bit, but then here a wave kicked me off the board, and yeah, I had to take a break. But you can see Dominic here in the back actually just motoring his way against the swell. And here you can see the same thing again, but from his camera, going down with the wind to get on foil, then turn around and going upwind. But it's not as simple as that, believe me. Motoring against the swell is difficult because when you pass a wave, you're with the motor out of the wave and have no thrust. But for him, it looks so simple here. He turned back on a wave and started to downwind, really serve the waves towards myself. Here you can see his angle and mine. And yeah, that was my goal. All right, so Dominic told me what to do. How hard can it be? Going with the swell to get on foil, that's what I did here, and then turning around. But actually turning against the swell and the wind was already difficult, and then losing thrust when the motor was out of the water because I went over a wave and didn't really push through was super difficult to keep balance. Also, if you are touching down. And I did it with my fat board. It was really difficult because, again, it stopped so much. And that balance, I always thought, yeah, you have the motor and everything's going to be easy and fine. It is not. So I lost a lot of meters, went downwind, was almost back at the beach. So I decided, all right, I'm going to get back on my belly and just motor upwind. And also that was pretty tough because when you hit the water, the spray gets in your face. It was like a nostril spray all the time. But at least I could get a little bit upwind like that. So getting upwind was actually difficult. Downwinding, I mean, here's my first real try getting on foil. I got pretty used to that. But then, like surfing the waves, also not simple. Because, as I've said, it is a mess there. Waves all over the place, sandbanks. Sometimes a wave appears, for me, out of nothing. So it pushes you up. So that also was really difficult to actually surf. I couldn't see a lot of patterns in the wave. And as I've learned later on, I should have gone way more out away from the beach, which would have been easier. But here, really difficult, but still fun. I enjoy the challenge. I always like to pump a bit, just so I feel like I'm more in control of the foil. It doesn't just push me and I'm being pushed, but I stomp on it and really, yeah, as I said, feel in control. So surfing the waves sometimes was going okay, actually. A little more time on water, the better it got. But turning around was still difficult. So here again, you can see me starting, going downwind, trying to pop up as soon as possible. And here, really surfing the waves. But then going back upwind was really a pain. So I thought, well, you know, it's just my board. That's the problem. Technical issues. So I asked Dominic if we could change the board because he has this trench board and I really wanted to change. So Dominic was up for it, which was really cool. So still in the water, we changed the board. He took mine. I took his with his foil underneath, of course. And the problem, or you can see here, it is not the problem of the board. It's a problem of the rider because Dominic went up against the wind, motoring up, no problem whatsoever. And then turning around and getting back down. Here you can see him surfing down with my foil. He didn't even need time to adjust to the foil. He got it instantly. Really cool. I, on the other hand, I had some trouble. Here you can see me trying to get up the first time. And the board was a lot more narrow, was difficult, but also the foil, I was not used to that foil. Again, might be excuses, but I just didn't manage to get up. Really, here, my second try. You can see the level of focus I have. Here I stood on the leash as well, didn't help that much. Foiling a little bit, but just not having the balance and falling. So I used all my battery and I had to walk back and, as Dominic said, put a freshie in.
Wow, I didn't know that you could do a walk and shame with the FoilDrive, but here we go. All right, this is session number 2. Now with the Dom's board, the apple tree, with I don't remember what it's called, but you can fit the whole thing inside and should be less drag. My foil, so let's see how that goes. Exciting.
So second session, I felt a little more comfortable, but again, going out against these waves, really impressive. They pushed me off the board. But then as soon as I was out of this break, I was on foil pretty quickly and going upwind as if there was nothing, really. If you hit the water with that board, it just goes through. It doesn't break you that much. It just is very smooth. It was easy to go upwind. Here, I overdid a little bit, but usually it was no problem. Here I had Dominic's GoPro on, and yeah, here again, if a wave breaks, it pushes you off the board. But other than that, going upwind was pretty manageable for an amateur as I am. Then going downwind was actually really fun. Like using FoilDrive to get up on foil, then with such a small board, just cruising around, trying to surf a little bit was really cool. So there again, I really see the advantage and the appeal of FoilDrive, I must say. Yeah, doesn't help against breaching, of course. But other than that, I can really just encourage people to try it out, to use it. If you want to get into downwinding, it really helps. If you're in Switzerland or near Switzerland and you want to give FoilDrive a go before buying, on the 21st of July, I'm going to have like a little test event or a demo event where you can come to Lausanne, close to Lausanne, and then a friend of mine has a boat. We go over to the French part of Switzerland, of the Lake Geneva, and we can actually test FoilDrive together. So if you have time, think about comment, write me a direct message on Instagram or just in the comments and we can connect so you can test out FoilDrive. As for this session here, thanks again, Dominic. It was really cool, really fun. Also super challenging, really, compared to the Markermeer that we did a couple days earlier. This was really on another level. Then again, being more to the outside would have helped a lot, but that's just what it was. It was still fun, was still impressive. Here I had to go in because the second battery was over as well. Going upwind in these conditions is really difficult, but I started to see like the light at the end of the tunnel, if I can use that metaphor. I really understand Dominic though. Dominic went upwind with the Parawing. FoilDrive helped him to get on foil, then he went upwind with the Parawing and then stowed the Parawing away and downwinded with FoilDrive. And that, at the time, I didn't really get it, but now I understand it as I'm really comparing Parawings and getting into Parawinging. Getting on foil with a Parawing is not easy. If FoilDrive gets you on foil and then you start Parawinging, that's really interesting. To do long upwinds with the Parawing is so much easier than just FoilDriving upwind. Use so much battery. So this combo that Dominic is doing here, really, I get it now. I understand it. If you have questions about it, hit him up, write down in the comments. And if you want to see pairing comparison, subscribe to not miss it. See you guys in the next one.
All right, I'm enjoying some Bitterballen, or I don't know how you pronounce that correctly. Let's talk about the session. It was fun. I went through 3 batteries and surfing down the waves was super fun. Going upwind was not that fun though. I would have preferred a wing or a Parawing or even the plume, or especially the plume. And doing short downwinders like that, I think that would be fine. Like flagging out the wing for a couple of 100 meters is fine. If we would have gone further out and did a long downwinder, then the FoilDrive would have been perfect again. But for just like these short bursts up and then coming down, really, I would have chosen differently. But nevertheless, it was fun, a new experience. I had to learn a lot, like going through these conditions. It was really tough because you suddenly you're high up because out of nowhere a wave appears because there's a sandbank underneath. You just never know. But it was fun, and now the sun is even out. I'm enjoying some Dutch food, so yeah, it was cool. If you liked it too, give it a thumbs up, and see you guys in the next one. Cheers.